Hi, and welcome to another episode of Paint with Me. Today I'm going to show you how to paint a super simple rose. Here I've done 2 roses in blue, and I'm just going to show you how easy it is to paint these. I'm going to start in the center, and every rose that I do starts the same way. I just start with 2 little marks in the center, kind of like little parentheses, kind of offset from each other. So I just make 2 little marks like this. So every petal that I make is made the same way, where I start with a tiny bit of pressure at the beginning, and then I push down hard in the middle, and then I let up on the pressure at the end. So I make like a C shape, so tiny pressure, squish in the middle for the fat center, and then let up on the pressure at the end. And so then I just go around the center again and again, and I kind of layer the petals in a random way, kind of all around, and I try to start them at random spots all around and just kind of layer them so that the petals start and end overlapping, so I don't want them to start and end at the same spots. And I just kind of make them bigger and bigger as they go out from the center. And that's all there is to it. So I just keep building my rose one petal at a time. Light pressure, push hard in the middle, and then let up at the end. And that's it. It's really simple and it's fun to do. I make little roses all over. So here I'll do another one right next to it. Again, I start in the center with these little parentheses. I just kind of offset them a little bit. And then I just build up my chubby petal shapes. And I think the hardest part here is to make them random so that every rose is a little bit different. It's very easy to get into a rhythm and into a pattern so that every rose that you make is the same. So to randomize it and to make everyone different is a little bit challenging. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some leaves. And I realize this is not at all what rose leaves look like, but I don't care. This is my painting. You can make accurate rose leaves if you want in your painting. Now I'm going to go back and add some more color that my rose has dried a little bit. I'm going to add some more shading to my petals. And this is optional. You don't have to do this, but I'm just going to go back and add a little bit more coloring to the petals. Add a little more depth. And again, I said this before in other videos, is that you really want your under layers to dry before you add more layers to your watercolor, because if not, what will happen is you'll end up lifting the color underneath instead of adding more color on top. So you really need those under layers to dry first before you try adding more color on top of them. So what we did before, we added those individual petals, and there was a lot of white in between. They were very compartmentalized. And so when you're adding more color, you can kind of squish them together a little bit more and blend them together, and it'll make it look less stenciled and more organic. So I'm being a little less careful with my color and placement of this next layer of color, and I think it adds a little bit more organicness to the painting and makes it look a little bit more natural. Again, not necessary, but I just like the added depth that it gives to the roses. Add a little bit more green to my inaccurate leaves, darken them up. And some more shading for my petals. Add a bright highlight on my leaves. Here I'm just adding a little bit of gray down into the joining areas of the petals. This will just help it blend a little bit more. Again, like I said, that white area of each petal, I'm not happy with how that looks. It kind of makes it look more like a stenciled rosette. So I just want to make that blend a little bit more. So I'm adding a little bit of gray in there. Help it flow and blend a little bit more. And that's it. And now we'll wait for it to dry. And thank you for joining me.